Assessors, February 7th, 4 p.m. First order of business today is just to approve the minutes from the January 10th open and executive.
Motion.
I'll second that.
Motion for both.
Motion to open.
Oh, motion open?
Open meeting.
Thank you. We're open in business, so now our first order of business is minutes. The open and executive, we had them for the January 10th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Kelly, I'm just going to turn over the open session to you.
All right, thanks. Just a reminder that the submission for abatements for real estate and personal property, the deadline was February 1st. Just wanted to, and of course, the deadline for payment of the tax bill for the third quarter was February 1st as well. I attended a winter meeting for the FAAO. It was via Zoom this morning. It was about, the hot subject is, of course, there's a Modernization Act being proposed by Governor Healy that could impact assessors as well as other financial groups and municipalities. I can give you a draft to read. Of course, it's just in the preliminary stages. And they talked about affordable housing, which is also another contentious subject with a lot of communities, and especially real communities as we are. Thirdly, the FY25 proposed budget has been requested by the Finance Department as well as the Finance Committee. Their request is to do level fund, 5% cut, 10% cut. Now, I think it's I'm unable to cut any more to make the 5 and 10% cut. If that's the case, then it's almost, because I can't touch contractual obligations. My salary and that of the stipend of the board has been stagnant for the past 3 fiscal years. Then there's other collective bargaining agreements that have to be met, as well as contractual obligation with the vendors, such as for the camera system. And I can't cut the budget anywhere else.
No.
I mean, I don't know what more to do.
We got to cut paper and office supplies just to make the contractual agreements, right?
Right. So I really don't know. I am scheduled, as I wrote on the agenda, March 13th at 7 p.m. The assessors are scheduled to present with the Finance Committee. So I will be presenting the budget as you see in front of you now, unless I'm given other instructions, but basically...
1.5% increase.
But yes, I mean, I'm awe-stricken as to wanting 5 and 10%, but I'm really not sure where they want to go with this. I haven't gotten any feedback on that budget that I did submit, so we'll see what happens. The 2023 town report draft is prepared, and the board was able to see it. I did pass it in the preliminary draft. It was due the end of January for the publication, I'm going to believe later this year. And lastly, the next scheduled meeting date, we're looking at March 6, 2024 at 4 p.m.
Well, actually, it's less than that. I was just looking at the salaries, but with the salaries and expenses, the rise is even less than 1%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 0.96%, you guys can see it.
I have been told that there is definitely a gap in meeting the budget requirements, so I'm being foretold for FY 2025. I do not know the details, but that is what I've been led to believe, and other department heads. Hopefully they will elaborate upon that. I'm really not sure. From what I heard, it could be to the tune of almost $1 million of a budget gap.
What do we have? What will
And overlay has $1.1 million. I can tell you that I believe release of overlay will be made. A request will be made to the board. I'm not sure if it would be for budgetary purposes. It may be for another liability. I'm not sure. I have not been told anything formally, so I don't want to misspeak.
The triannual certification.
Yep. For $24,500.
I
That's
got
big.
26,000 here.
Right, I'm sorry, 20, it's 24.5 is the contractual obligation. The buffer is if, you know, incidentals, if you will, but the contract is 24.5. And it's been that, believe it or not, for the past 18 years.
Okay,
So,
so,
the Camera System Patriot Properties, their contract has not changed in price except for the licensing fee for over 18 years. I think that's commendable.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, even if we look at the FY 2024 budget that's in place now, for $182,600.
the certification is required by the state, correct? It's not something we can do
Yes.
out for a year or two or anything, right?
No, a triennial certification is, what they do is, they help me with the analysis that has to happen every year. And this year, we're in a reval.
Yeah.
So it's even a little bit more intense where they get much more, they dissect the information much, much more. That in itself alone is a job, regardless of anything else that assessors have to do. That strictly has to do with the statistical analysis of land schedules, of building schedules, of how things are assessed either through sales or income. It's quite involved.
It doesn't have to be sent out, then we could do it in-house, but then we'd be putting on salary, and of course it would be more than $26,000.
100%.
Yeah.
I can tell you, assessors, fellow assessors that do a lot of the triennial certification, a lot more in-house. I'd say I'm split about 40-60, 60 being theirs. I do a lot of the work to get them to the analysis, that do like maybe 80% of it. Yeah, they get compensated at least $50,000.
What about the management consultant?
That was my next question. I'm just going right down.
Yeah, I went on the list. in my head, too.
That is for cyclical inspections. We are required by the Department of Revenue within a 10-year cycle to hit every real property in town. So that's outsourced as well, where they commit, we have about 5,000 parcels, so over 10 years, 500 parcels a year. That's the commitment to go and actually do the legwork and boots on the ground to meet that commitment.
And that's all they do?
And that's all they do, and it's all through the same company. This particular need was a requirement that was a real issue for our reval in fiscal 2020. We did not meet the criteria of the state, and that was one of the directives that had to be in place, or there was going to be an issue with
Right.
certification.
Yeah, we didn't have certification.
Obviously, the rest of these line items are menial, other than the camera license
There's
fee.
nothing really there.
So that is the overlay system, right?
What do you mean?
The camera.
CAMA is, yes, is,
So, I mean, that's something that obviously has been very useful to all the departments in the whole town, but it's the only place where if they want to steal something from us, we don't need, by law.
without that software, if they outsourced it, like without my position here and outsourced it, communities pay to the tune of about $75,000 to $100,000 for it to be completely outsourced. Maybe not a community of this size, but this is what they do. These big companies, they come in and sometimes it's all by vendors. They don't have municipal employees, and that's what they pay. So if you look back historically, like I said, on every budget for the past 18 years, it's been between $24,000 and $26,000. You don't see that. And I think it's because of the rapport and the relationship and the continuity the town has had with Patriot Properties.
But you need the software every year, it's not that, nothing can carry over.
No, without the licensing software, we'll be doing.
Right, but it has to be renewed every year.
Yes.
You can't do a 2-year thing or a.
We're in a 3-year contract, and every year is the 24/5.
Well,
Well, I'm talking about this $12,200.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Camera licensing.
Yeah.
Oh, that changes every year.
Yeah.
Without that licensing fee, they can't run the software.
That's what I'm,
Yes, I'm
that's what I'm
sorry.
getting at.
I apologize, I
I'm not sorry.
misunderstood.
We can't
Yes.
share that with other departments, that cost?
Well, that's kind of my point, is we do and we don't. The whole town
Access.
can use the overlays and
They-
the information.
can't-
Part of absorbing the cost of it.
They cannot, no, that CAMA system is a static database that's available online to anybody. That CAM system involves basically behind the scenes, all the calculations, all the price tables, all the cost tables, all the analysis that the behind the scenes happens to actually get a certified value.
I think what we're saying is everybody,
They do not have,
it affects every department, why are we absorbing the price ourselves, kind of, I think that's kind of what I hold.
Well, I
It's
don't
not
care
fair,
that
this-
we pay for it.
that's the
I just
statutory
want to be
obligation
told
of
that it's
Right,
necessary.
I'm
It
thinking outside,
100%
I'm
is
thinking of
necessary.
devil's advocate, if we have to chop out something, then we can share that with
Absolutely
someone.
They don't,
not.
and the
You
other
know.
departments don't have access to it, we're the only ones who
Right,
can
but
do
it
anything.
affects other
to change it.
departments, is what I'm
it
saying.
affects
kind of.
$22 million of this town's budget.
Right.
Without that information, you don't get taxation.
Right.
I was under the impression that, you know, building and zoning and stuff, we're using these maps and the.
Oh, that's
overlays and
near
stuff.
map. That's a different platform. This Canvas system is Patriot Properties. They are the analytical
Okay,
software, what, that actually is the assessment software.
so that near map's not on here?
Near map is
because
not on
we-
this budget at all. It went to another budget allocated by accounting for contracts that are used by multiple departments.
All right, that's what I was.
That's kind of what I was
That's what I was
thinking,
thinking.
multiple
Yep.
departments use it, like.
So that- yeah,
The
that-
animal license fee
Just
goes
trying to think outside the
directly
box.
related to the certification.
Correct.
Okay.
Every year you have to pay a licensing fee to the company. It used to be Patriot Properties. It got bought out by a bigger company called Catalyst now. And they're the ones that get the triennial certification and the licensing fee, the CAMA, because they are the CAMA software. And it's been like, the only increase, if you see, has been, the management consulting of the 7,500, that was done from FY 2022 to FY 2023, that big change. That was because those monies were in another line item and they got moved up, so it kind of, it makes, it looks kind of funky, because what happened was that year, the cyclical inspections, they weren't all paid out. In other words, that's what was paid. They didn't finish the other half. But to finish the other half, you need the full amount of money.
Right.
Get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big contention for the directive for the reval for coming up.
No, I just want to make sure that, you know, as far as the budget's concerned, we're looking at where we can cut.
Yeah.
And
We
we
can't-
can't,
we- I mean-
I don't want to just say, we can't. I want to
Yeah.
say we can't because everything on here needs to be done. And
Pretty
we're already
much.
getting the best deal we can for it.
Pretty much, in a nutshell. Yep, absolutely.
All right.
And we have matters in executive session then to reconvene.
Okay, that concludes our regular open session. We do have many exemptions and abatement applications to go over, which will be done in executive session, and we will reconvene to take any votes necessary. So I do need a motion to close open and open back up into executive session with a roll call vote, please.
Motion to leave open session into executive session and reconvene.
All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. We are now in executive session. Okay, we have concluded our executive session. I need a motion to reopen our open
Reconvene
session.
session. Make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. We are back in open session here on February 7th, and I'll have Kelly go over what took place, what we voted on in the executive session.
Okay, there was review of two personal exemptions, 41C and 17D, a new applicant for Form ABC exempt, map 19, lot 31, and there was review and vote for the following real estate and personal property abatements. Map 24, lot 177, 179, map 24, lot 166, map 18, lot 16G, map 5, lot 7K, map 19, lot 31, map 22, lot 19, map 3, lot 9E. Personal property accounts 1391 and 1127 were also reviewed and voted on, and a review of matter discussed for the plan recorded on Plan Book 179, page 24, and it will be readdressed at the next meeting on March 6, 2024.
Okay, that was all I was going to wrap up with is if there is no further business, our next meeting is March 6th. Anything else from gentlemen?
No, we covered it all.
And I will entertain entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.